Hello everyone, I'm Chris with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's video where we are going to say that this Base V4 can be almost as good as the V4R and is the best platform for most of you out there to get because of what you can do to it, again, for thousands less than the V4R. We're going to break down all those costs, but first we're going to ride it, get some fun back and forth and see what they feel like comparatively, and then sit down and I'm going to show you the numbers and what it will cost to actually get that V4, the base, up to a level that is comparable to a V4R. Yes, they're not sort of close, again, different motor, but trust me, this is gonna be some really, really good information for you all. So let's go and let's have some fun.
Alrighty, so my buddy right there is gonna ride my V4R. I'm gonna take his base V4. And again, it's a comparison, but not really. It's more to show that this is the best platform if you're looking to get a V4 Panigale, to start with the base and then add parts, because you're going to be thousands less than you would if you start with a V4R or even a V4S, and you're going to have so much more tunability and customization you can do with a base V4, even if you go with a V4S. So let's go for a ride. So let's get a start of this beautiful Acura. Oh yeah. Oh, she sounds lovely. So right away, there's a distinct noise difference between the two. I remember what it was like having my full exhaust. Oh my God. And again, this is the base. So I missed riding, well, I haven't missed riding the V4 1103 platform versus my R. It's that extra oomph in the like 4,000 to 8,000 RPM range that the 1103 has, especially with the tune. It really opens it up, and you can feel it. It's really aggressive in that range, especially as you creep up to 10 grand, where you feel it the most. Whereas like the V4R, you feel it the most as you get above like 7-8 grand, and then it really starts to scream above 10. So obviously the power delivery is very different. The quick shifter is fantastic. We knew that already. I actually feel slightly more comfortable on this than I do the R. Like the R feels a little bit more aggressive forward. Maybe I'm just feeling shit and it's not real, but being able to jump back and forth, it can definitely feel the difference. We're gonna take kind of an easy. There's a lot of weird stuff and bicyclists and shit, and there's also a lot of stuff on the road, but I want to talk about the change of direction. This still has the stock wheels on it, so there is a little more weight. But because it's got this nice mid-range torque, like right here I'm at 5 to 8 grand at RPM, it just has that power to just kind of push you out of it, and or out of a turn, that is. And on a track, it's a little hairy because you have to be very smooth with it, otherwise you'll spin the tires out from under you. On the street, you know, you're not nearly as aggressive, at least you shouldn't be, and you don't quite have that problem. It actually makes the ride easier. It's like I didn't expect to feel any major difference between the two bikes. You know, it's still a V4 at the end of the day. Yes, it's a different motor characteristic. I think there's some geometry differences. You can go ahead and look that up yourselves. But in the end of the day, it's still Panigale, still V4. It's a great bike. Again, a lot of stones there. It's one of these bikes that, at the base model, you're getting such a performance package to begin with that if you just add a few things, it becomes just otherworldly in a sense. And again, it can be thousands less. But that is a discussion we're gonna have here shortly. I mean, look at these pair right here. They're gorgeous. I know some of you, majority of you, don't like the looks of the new V4. I'm kind of in the same boat when you have this to compare it to. But we're not, that's for a different video, or a video I've already done. My buddy here just got off the R. Beautiful. And we both kind of said the same thing. The power delivery between these two is very, very, very different. As I mentioned, that 6 to 8 grand on this bike, it's heavy. You feel that torque, and it really launches you along. Or this, you just need to keep revving. There's power there, but it's a little more linear. It feels a little inline 4-ish, which, I mean, depending on your applications, good. On the street, I think the Base V4 has a little more streetability because of that mid-range. But we're gonna hop back on the V4R. I'm gonna forget how to shift because different shift pattern, and then we'll get home and chat about it. So now we're back on my R, and straight away you can tell how much quicker this engine spins up. Like, it's throttle and we're gone. So that's what sets the R apart in a lot of other ways. It's just how quickly the motor responds to your input. And again, the throttle in the R, as I've said in other videos, has a weight to it. There's not a lot of free play, or really any slack like the Base V4 does. You can get rid of that with Ducati spacers, but straight from the box, that's the feel. And again, that's with a tune on that bike behind me. I do feel that this bike changed directions easier. Some of that's due to the lighter wheels. And again, I think there are some geometry changes to it. Oh, the clatter of the freaking drag clutch. Whew. This thing's just an animal. It loves being revved. It's like, if you're talking about cars, it's like the difference between driving a Carrera, a 911 Carrera, and a 911 GT3. The GT3 loves revs, or this does too. The Carrera, it's the turbocharged, so it doesn't need the 9,000 RPM. It doesn't need it. The key of this video is sort of what you can do and how much it costs to make that Base V4 perform to a level of something like a V4R. And again, you can do it for thousands less, and that is the key. Thousands less.
Let's get into a few things about this Base V4, the standard V4, whatever you want to call it. We'll talk about the price. You can find them online for anywhere between $18,000 to $24,000. Again, that's brand new, it's $24,995. So that is what you're looking at to begin with if you buy this bike. What I want to do with this video is I'm going to put a little column of numbers, and we're going to add up the total to see how close it gets to a V4R when you upgrade this thing. All right, so one of the first things that most people are going to do is change out the exhaust, because who likes hearing a stock exhaust other than me? No one. So I personally go with the Acura exhaust with the Ducati approved tune because it does not mess with your warranty. I cannot say whether those other brands will or will not mess with your warranty. Ducati and dealerships tell me they will, so do your own research, make your own decisions. That's just what I've learned. So if you go with the exhaust, you're looking between 6 to 8 grand. Again, the exhaust is around 7 plus install. If you do it yourself, it'll obviously be cheaper, but again, that's on you. And then the tune from Ducati. If you go with a different brand, you'll have to get a different tune. And I highly recommend doing a tune, because people that put an exhaust on, your bike ends up running like garbage because you didn't account for the better airflow. So make sure you do a tune. So you're looking at, again, between 6 and 8 grand. Add that to the $24,000 to $19,000 that you spent, and we'll add that total. So the first thing that I would do personally, even before the exhaust, is change out the suspension. The Showa forks and the Sachs shock, I would replace those with Öhlins, because I'm impartial to Öhlins, and they're just fantastic. Or you can call them Öhlins, or whatever other emphasis you want to put on whatever syllable for that word. Anyways, To change these out to match somewhere around where the V4R is, you're looking around $2,600 to around $3,000 for the forks. And I would replace the rear sack shock with an Öhlins, and that's around $1,200 to $1,600 depending on what level you go. I think you can even go up to $2,000 if you get the full titanium TTX ones, but don't think you need to go to that level for this bike. So the next thing that I would do is the brake system. Now the brakes that are on here are the steel Styleema, so they're really good calipers. I would upgrade the brake lines to steel braided brake lines. I'd also upgrade the master cylinder to the Corsa Corda, I think it's RC19 or RC19, whatever. They're like $300. The lines are around 150, maybe 200. Now, if you really want to go crazy, you can go to the next level up of Brembos, and they're gonna cost about $1,500, I believe. And then you'd have an even better braking system than what's on the R. So if you already add that up, which again, with the total, we're still far less than what the V4R is. Another weight saving thing we can do and really make this bike handle a little bit better and change directions faster is change out the wheels. I did notice while riding how much better the V4R changed directions than this particular base V4. Again, there's other aspects that play into that, but the weight helps. So if you look at some Marchesini forged wheels, you're looking around $3,000 to $6,000. Carbon fiber is obviously really light as well. I really don't like them for the street. I know a ton of people swear by them, but I've seen too many of them get destroyed from just bad roads. And out here we have a mixture of really fantastic roads and really bad roads. So I would go more towards the forged rim versus the carbon fiber. Your choice. If it was mostly track, I'd honestly do carbon fiber because the likelihood of hitting potholes at a track is kind of low. But Marchesini wheels, some forged wheels, make it lighter, make it change direction better. That's the next thing. And again, $3,000 to $6,000, we'll add that to the total and we'll see where we're at. So as we add up all the parts I just mentioned, say you buy the bike and it's used, which is honestly a great route to go. Say you find one for $19,000, which is out there. You find the bike for $19,000, you add the exhaust, you add the wheels, you add the suspension, you add the brakes and the brake lines. Honestly, you probably don't need to upgrade the brakes, but let's just say we do. You're looking at $38,000-ish. Again, we'll add that up and we'll put something in this region. So you're at $38,000. Now you're like, okay, that's still crazy expensive. It's cheaper than this out the door. It's actually cheaper than a V4 SP2 out the door. And here's a little tidbit of information that might be useful to you that, you know, if you don't like the new 2025 Panigale with the double-sided swing arm, you can get a base one with a single-sided swing arm, looks gorgeous, and make it, was it $4,000 over what the MSRP is for a brand new base V4 anyways for 2025? I believe they're like $33,000, $34,000. So that's more incentive to go this route than it is to go buy a brand new one. If you wanted to make this thing in the level of a V4R, it's gonna cost you around $38,000 all in. I don't know. That might seem crazy to you, that might not. You might just wanna do the forks. If you do just the forks, it's going to make it a night and day difference. If you want to upgrade the brakes, same thing. If you do want to do just the exhaust, it's going to be crazy powerful, but then you're going to have a suspension that doesn't quite match the power. But if you're an everyday rider, does it really matter? Not really. It's really up to you. But that's how you break down and make this base V4 an incredible machine for cheaper than a V4R out the door. Hope you all enjoyed this video. And it can be useful to you, and you can see what the potential of a base V4 is, because I do believe that this package right here is the best all-around thing for people looking to get into a bike like the Panigale and then just make it their own. It's the best part about them. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Definitely let me know what you think about a build like this, because it's pretty cool. And yeah, you all have a wonderful day. See you on the next one.